Hi again, church family. Pastor Michael here. It's great to have these conversations of hope with you and share with you some insights to help us through this time of pandemic and the social distancing that we need to do and other things that are part of our quote normal. Last time I started a look at C.S. Lewis's message that he presented to students at Oxford University in England just around the start of the war, World War II, autumn of 1939. And Lewis identifies three enemies that we face during, it doesn't matter what crises really, it could be this pandemic, but also at that time was World War II. And then he also examines three mental exercises to defend against these. Last time I talked about excitement or distraction. We're so easily distracted right now with the events that are going on. And we need to refocus and allow God to be truly our focus. The second enemy that Lewis presents is frustration. And I'll just read what he says. The second enemy is frustration, the feeling that we shall not have time to finish. If I say to you that no one has time to finish, that the longest human life leaves a man in any branch of learning a beginner, I shall seem to you to be saying something quite academic and theoretical. You would be surprised if you knew how soon one begins to feel the shortness of the tether, of how many things, even in the middle life, we love to say, oh, no time for that, too late now and not for me. But nature herself forbids you to share that experience. A more Christian attitude, which can be attained at any age, is that of leaving fortuity in God's hands. We may as well, for God will certainly retain it, whether we leave it to him or not. Never in peace or war commit your virtue or your happiness to the future. Happy work is best done by the man who takes his long-term plans somewhat lightly and works from moment to moment as to the Lord. It is only our daily bread that we are encouraged to ask for. The present is the only time in which any duty can be done or any grace received. Frustration, that about the future. Well, what if I don't have time to finish that? Or what will life look like when all of this is over? What will the economy ever come back to the way it was? Will I have what if you fill in the blanks? Lewis actually doesn't dismiss the worries as baseless, but he does say that worrying about the future will not solve a thing. I love what he says. You may as well leave the future to God, for God will certainly retain it, whether we leave it to him or not. He's got the future in his hands. And so you might as well just give it back to him. By keeping it, by trying to do the what ifs, all we're doing is denying the inevitable, which is God's plans will be followed through. I'm also reminded of Matthew 6:34. And I'll leave this with you. These are Jesus' words during his Sermon on the Mount, we call it. And after going through a whole lot of things, he just says, therefore, do not be anxious for tomorrow will care for itself. And it will. God will look after that. He's going to worry about the tomorrow. You don't have to. It's his to take care of. But then he says, each day has enough trouble of its own. It talks about living in the moment. And we need to do that in this idea of frustration, the what ifs. You need to stick in the moment. What is happening today? What kind of things can you process through today? May the Lord bless and keep you and strengthen you through this time. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to connect with someone at the church. Either call the office or email me. Love to chat. Thanks for joining with us.